Are you serious? Are you serious? Welcome to Patreon. Planet X, Nibiru, a dwarf star, planet number 9, the Goblin. Are you serious? Are we living in the end times? Yes. And what is going on with this planet? Well, there's several things happening. And of course, I've been sharing with you portions of the green file. The green file that we received from Stephen Ben-Danoon, who he received from a NASA scientist and a scientific astronomer studying the planets, and also in some information he received. He wanted to be sure this was passed on. I'm going to share some of it with you tonight. First of all, I want to read 4 verses from the Bible because they directly will be affected by what I'm going to share with you from the file. Thank you for being a member of this Patreon channel. Let's get the people saved that don't know Christ. In Revelation 8:8, and the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and a third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and a third part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood. And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter or poisonous from radiation from the wormwood. Okay, so now here's what we're finding out. Some more info from the little green file. Much more to come from this as we've been digging. There's a Planet X or Nibiru or a binary system. That's been confirmed by several scientists from NASA on this file. But look, folks, Mike from around the world, telling us from the intelligence information he has shared that there is a definite binary system. John Moore, when he was working in U.S. intelligence, said that absolutely they called it Planet X. Now, we know Jeremiah Stitchin called it Planet X. We know the ancients called it Nibiru. We know that there's been the effects of it from 3,600 years ago during the plague of Egypt. And during that same time as the plague of Egypt, it's recorded by the Peruvians of tsunamis and massive change of climate. The Mayans saying it was incredible, catastrophic events. The North American Indians told it and shared it through legend, and Asian documentation, and also the writings of the Egyptians, as well as the Torah from the Bible, the book of Exodus. So there's no question, 3,600 years ago, there was massive chaos going on in the planet, not just the 10 plagues of Egypt. Now, some of that was large hail, some of that was straight line winds, some of that was frigid temperatures, climate change, slight pole shifts, a lot of things happened. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, sinkholes, there was all kinds of stuff. Now here's what we know. According to the little green file, several NASA scientists, which I have their names, but I'm not going to tell you who they are, but several of them confirmed that there are 4 events going on right now in the heavens that are directly affected by Planet X or Nibiru or Wormwood, whatever you want to call it, a dwarf star. And that is Neptune. Neptune is further away from the sun than Uranus, yet Neptune is hotter on temperature on its surface than Uranus. Neptune, it has what they call a liquid methane on its surface, and it is hot. So that planet is actually warmer and it's further from the sun. How can that be? Because according to the reports, now that Nibiru or Planet X or the dwarf star, or the binary system, now that it's coming back in closer, it's bringing with it a dwarf star. So it's a combination. So in other words, you have Planet X along with a little dwarf star, and that dwarf star is putting out a lot of heat and energy, and so it's actually heating Neptune. Even though Neptune's further from our sun, it's getting radiation, it's getting heat from the dwarf star that's approaching. So that is one thing. Number two, Uranus itself is tilted on its side. The rings around it go like this instead of like this, like Saturn. Okay? They're running like this. That's because it's believed that Uranus was hit the last time, 3,600 years ago, not by Planet X or, or the dwarf star, but literally by the asteroid belt, the debris field that's coming, actually hit Uranus and turned it up on its side, causing the rings to run in this direction. The third thing that's going on is the asteroid belt itself, or the debris field. It was caused because it's believed that Planet X, which is about 10 or 12 times larger than planet Earth, hit a planet and exploded it and created a massive debris field. That was actually caused by a collision with Planet X. And it's that debris field that's drifting ever closer to us. Did not hit us the first time around. We got a little bit of the debris 3,600 years ago during the time of the plagues of Egypt, but did not hit us like it's coming this time around. It's not Planet X. It's not the dwarf star that we're really worried about. It's the debris field. Massive. And that's according to this. And the fourth event going on in the cosmos is Venus. Venus is the only planet that is actually, all the other planets rotate clockwise, but Venus rotates counterclockwise. And that's due to some type of a collision with some of this debris field so many years ago that spins it in an opposite direction. Now, these four events going on are all documented in the little green file and are a part of what they're very concerned about. It's the debris field. It's the debris field that's coming. Now, the first encounter with it, according to Stephen Ben-Danoon, of course, in the little green file that he received, and then I've read it myself now that I've got my hands on it, I've been going through it. Of course, that first encounter is coming. We've already shared that on our DVD entitled The Heavens Are Shaking. If you haven't got a copy of this, I'm telling you, you better get this. It's 4 hours. There's 4 DVDs. 1 hour, the first hour, Clyde Lewis tells you about the ancient history of Planet X, as it was known as Nibiru by the ancients. John Moore is the second for an hour. He talks about the intelligence briefings when he was in the intelligence with the United States Army and how that they planned on how to deal with it. They released this information in 1979. He sat in on those briefings in 1970. I believe it was 79. It might have been 89. I can't remember which he said, but whichever. It's on here. He tells you. And he tells you that's why they're building the underground cities and preparing for the debris field that's coming and the pole shift that's coming. Stephen Ben-Danoon is hour number 3. He reveals some of this green file, but nearly not all of it. Only maybe about 15% of it. But what he reveals is shocking, including the dates that we're watching for. And that first date he reveals in this, of course, which is March 28th, 2021. That's when the debris field is estimated to come encounter with Jupiter. And then I'm hour number 4, tying all of this information together with the biblical scriptures of the last days and how this event could bring about some of these documented scriptures. It's all in this 4 DVD set. I highly recommend, if you haven't ordered it, to order it so that you can get the entire 4 hours worth. People are now calling me. People are emailing me crazy. Now that these have gone out, and people have these all across the world now, people are starting to watch these, and they are freaking out because the information revealed was incredible. But it's nothing compared to what we're going to reveal to you in the next conference coming up in St. Louis, Missouri. We'll give you the date the location very soon, and we're adding 2 new speakers to this fabulous Fab 4 team. So we'll tell you more about that as we get closer. Right now, we're living in the end times. Right now, we're living in the last days. And I had a great conversation, of course, with Mark Biltz about the blood moons and the prophetic signs. And that brand new DVD I just put out, you got to get yours ordered. It's called Blood Moons, Prophetic Signs. I'm telling you, the reason why I'm sharing this information with you is because you have to have it to understand the biblical prophecies. Why 2 Peter 3 happens? It's actually going to happen because of the debris field that's on its way toward planet Earth. We're living in the last days. Wars, rumors of wars, all kinds of stuff going on. I wanted to share, though, these 4 points that are actually happening now are being caused by Planet X or Nibiru or the dwarf star, planet number 9, the goblin. Whatever you want to call it, whatever NASA wants to call it, doesn't matter. The Bible calls it wormwood. Jesus is coming soon. Give your life to Jesus Christ. Thank all of you for being a member and a partner with me right here on Patreon. Thank you for your support. I'll be live at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. Are you serious?